You want to make sure that you're lit well. And so, you know, I played with the idea of setting up a light myself here, because if you notice, it's just a lot of downward light. And a lot of times, you know, if I had a little more time, or if I was doing this for, you know, a more polished end product, I'd want to make sure we're not having shadows underneath the neck or underneath the nose. And so it's really good to invest in some sort of lighting in order to give yourself a nice even look. Not only is it just going to help the overall picture quality by providing more light for your scene, it's also going to make you look younger, which, you know, who doesn't want to look a little younger? And so if you're doing a talking head only, again, that's just where you're, you know, using your head and you're sharing information, you can get away with a ring light, which I see we have one back there in that room. Sure, just to show people what it is. And this particular ring light that he has actually has a bit of a tripod mechanism a part of it. And so that is a really good system to use if you're planning on just doing SSME videos with your talking head. Keep them short, but that's something that can provide you some great light and hold on to your camera. Now, fellow glasses wearers, we do have some more issues where we typically can't use a ring light. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to glasses wearers, we can't have that light coming directly at our face because it just gets in your lens and that looks really distracting. So typically for someone who wears glasses, you'll need at least 2 ring lights or 2 LED lights of sorts coming at angles, and typically a little higher and then at 2 different angles to then cross and blend together to give you a full even look. That will then make it so it eliminates your lens and you're still getting an even lighting, but you're not seeing it in your actual lens. And so what we typically use are LED lights that are bicolor. So bicolor, that means that you can adjust the color temperature. So when you're outside, that's using daylight. Daylight is 5600 Kelvin. It's kind of a blue light. While they're in here, I think I set the white balance to be like, I think it was like 4300, because we're getting a little bit of the daylight, but these are very tungsteny. They're kind of a red look to it. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're doing your best to match the lighting in your room and in your scene, so that way whites are truly white and your skin tone is actually your skin tone. And so that's something that you would want to consider, perhaps getting something that's bi-colored so you can make sure you're matching the scene that you're in. If you're going to be on the go, maybe you're doing a lot of the gimbal work, you might want to consider just getting these little clip-on LED lights. They work really well. But again, glasses wearers, you do have to be a little more conscious of exactly where you're positioning it so you don't get it in your lens. And so, I'm sorry, what was that?
Take your glasses off.
Or take your glasses off. However, this is about getting to know you. I know myself, like I never have my glasses off. Like pretty much I go to sleep and that's when I have my glasses off. And so, you know, if I was doing videos with my glasses off and then you meet me with my glasses, there's just that little bit of a disconnect, and you don't want to have that disconnect when someone has the opportunity to meet you in person. And so I definitely would advise that, you know, if you meet people with your glasses on in person, you got to keep your glasses on, and it's just a matter of making the adjustments. And so that's where creating a studio space can be really beneficial, because you know where you're going to have your camera, you know where the lighting works, you can just walk into your space, turn them on, record, and you can eliminate the guesswork every single time. So when you're using green screens, I know someone mentioned green screens before, you want to make sure that there's lots of light. You want to make sure that your green screen's evenly lit. If you have shadows on your green screen, it's going to cause some weird funny dancing. It's going to make it so you can't create a nice background in there. And you want to make sure that you are also fully lit. And so when we're doing a green screen, we're using like 5 lights. And so really think about your end product and what you want it to look like, and you know how much you want to invest in equipment and such.
What about those shape-looking umbrellas? I know they're they have like lighting, so how does that work?
So those make the light softer. So basically you're shooting through the umbrella and it diffuses the light. So I have, different modifiers and diffusers in our van that does the same thing, whether it's something that makes it more of a spotlight, what just spots onto a particular spot. I have a globe, so if I needed to have like this whole room with a really nice soft light, you put the globe on there. And so for a lot of beginners, those umbrellas are something that just makes it just a little softer on you, so it's not such harsh light.
Can it be used for green screen?
Yes, but you actually do want to almost go with the harsher light than the soft light for that. So you want to make sure that green is very green, very even. Now I will say, when you use Zoom and their green screen editor, I don't know what they do in the back end of that editing system, but it does a phenomenal job. Like, you definitely have a lot more grace in terms of, how perfect your green screen needs to be when you're using Zoom.